Hello everybody and welcome to BroomWagon. You will not get there on a road bike. And that's it. Yes, unfortunately the over-the-shoulder mini-series shrank a bit. So now we are here with the normal kind of line of episodes for the BroomWagon Podcast. Yeah, finding guests to talk about cyclocross in this part of the season was a bit difficult that I anticipated. But something else is gonna come. I can really promise you that something else is gonna come. I have a lot of friends helping out to find something more to talk about on the cyclocross, but now we put everything on ice. I mean, it's still cold here, but you know what I mean. And we're gonna discuss cyclocross a tiny bit later. So we are gonna discuss about the classic way of episodes and planning of this BroomWagon podcast. Talking about this way of enjoying cycling that we all love. First of all, thanks a lot for being here. If you want to communicate with me, Calamaro, go on CalamarosCC on Instagram or BroomWagon Podcast on Instagram as well. Remember, you can share this episode or any episode you like with your peers. That's incredible. You can do it whatever you want. If you want to put it on social media, direct messages, messengers app, sitting on the table with an alcohol-free beer, Zier Brewing, and everything else is gonna be more than alright. And if you want to put 5 stars on your provider, you can do it, podcast provider, or if you just want to follow or ring the bell, whatever you want to do, I would really appreciate it. This episode is actually a kind of a shared venture. I mean, I know Sasha from the Gravel Club. I know Dan, that is the photographer of the event. I know the media power behind the event, Two Tones, John. And I was just missing a couple of pieces there. That's why today I'm talking with Fabio, who is co-organizer of Shardana, a bikepacking event, quite freestyle, quite cool, that happens in Sardinia. And it's gonna happen in, I would say, 5 weeks from now. You're gonna know everything about that in one step. Talking today. Hi, can you hear me, everybody? I think you should. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. No, it's not this one. Is this one? Now it should work. Checking the levels.
Good morning.
Hi. And I'm here today talking with Fabio. We have tons of people in common. At a certain point, our kind of roads collide. And that's why we are here talking about yourself, Fabio, but also about an awesome event that is actually part of your, let's say, future plans, where future is probably in 4 weeks. What do you think?
Exactly. Correct. Hello, everybody. It's great to be here today. With Stefano, we have already spoken a little bit about what we do and what we are planning also for the future to do. I think, Stefano, you want to start maybe with I can make a little introduction of myself first, and then...
I want to ask you, first of all, a sharp question. Where are you based, Fabio?
Correct. I'm based in Sardinia. Maybe not everybody knows where it is. It's in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, part of Italy, of course, even if sometimes we feel a little bit different from the rest of Italy.
Yeah.
But Sardinia, south of Sardinia, March here is already ending. It's already warm. It's already cycling time.
Talking about how many degrees? What's the temperature?
It's 20 right now.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. It's sunny, you said as well.
Sunny and 20.
Okay, that's perfect. So have you been already outside riding the bike for today or not?
No, not today. No,
okay,
I
not
have
yet.
an appointment with you, so I kept my day free for you.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. That's perfect. And so you're based in the south of Sardinia, let's say in the area of Cagliari, more or less. You told me 30 kilometers from Cagliari.
Exactly, correct. It's a very, it's a flat area where I live, but both east and west we have quite nice mountains. So where I live is kind of boring, but you have to go 20, 25 kilometers to get interesting.
Okay, not so much at the end.
No, not so much, exactly. And it's also like 35 from the seaside. So it's an interesting spot if you move just a couple of kilometers.
That's super nice. That's super nice. We're going to talk about a couple of things in Sardinia in 1 second, but as you were mentioning before, probably you can tell us, yes, a bit more about you.
Yeah. So my background is actually in the communication and advertising industry. I've been working in this industry for many years, about 20 years. But already several years ago, I started thinking, hey, I'm not sure this is my future. And because I come from a family of cyclists, I started like, hey, but what if I start creating something related to bicycles? And so I started with designing first, my first bicycles. This was more than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And little by little, what I had in mind came to life, which was a bicycle brand.
Yeah.
At the beginning, was called Fabike, which continued for about 10 years until COVID came. And that was a disaster, everybody knows.
Of course.
I don't have to tell you what happened during the COVID time. It was really, everything was unpredictable and things didn't go so well for me for the bicycle brand. But that time was also the time when I said, hey, I want to create actually something different about cycling, about bicycles. I want to get into really handmade. And that was the time during COVID time when I started studying how to manufacture myself what I wanted to create. So I studied carbon fiber manufacturing. I studied 3D printing, metal 3D printing technologies. And what I have created is basically a new road and gravel bicycle brand called ICNU Cycles, which is basically launching now. It was presented the first time last year during Bespoke bicycle show in Dresden.
Last year, you mean 2024 or 2023?
23.
Yeah, because I was there in 2024, I didn't meet you. So I didn't meet you there. So it was the year before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so the first prototype was presenting there to present the concept. And what is cool is that now two new models of frames are ready. They will be actually presented also. There will be one example of the new final frame in Düsseldorf during Cycle World, just next weekend.
Absolutely. Next weekend for...
Well,
actually, in a couple of days, right?
Yeah, 5 days, 4 days.
So last weekend for everybody who is listening, most probably. So probably check the photos.
Right.
Photos should be online already.
And so, exciting times. I'm so happy about this, and I think it's the right moment because after 2 years of very bad time for the bicycle industry, many people say 2025 will be okay again.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a little bit about me, but it's. I think we are not here so much to talk.
But I have a couple of questions still about you, actually, and it's actually about the bikes. And one is actually one question that I just have on top of my head. It's just out of curiosity. You were talking about titanium 3D printing. This means that actually you have a 3D printer at home that actually works with titanium, or how is it? Because I heard about that so much, but I don't know so much about that.
I wish I had.
Okay.
It's not really an affordable machine. These kind of machines, just for curiosity for people, these kind of machines, they start from 300K.
Oh, okay.
So it's an proper industrial machine. So you have suppliers. So you have printing services all over Europe. There are many options.
Okay.
So you can print your 3D printing parts, metal 3D printing parts in Europe. So it's pretty local.
Okay. But anyways, you have something close to you or provided.
Yeah.
That's super nice. Okay. I think Silka has their own 3D printers. For sure, Sturdy, they have it as well. So there are some companies that, but I mean, it's We were talking about scalability before, right? It's a different level.
So starting already owning a machine like this doesn't make sense, really.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
But
And
that's a dream. That's absolutely a dream to have my own one.
absolutely. So yeah, this was actually my kind of my first question, but then actually going a bit more on a conceptual way of thinking and also a conceptual kind of question is, but you were talking about actually then having your own way of building bikes or whatever. What's your philosophy behind ICNU? I mean, you are not doing the same kind of geometries or whatever of the off-the-shelf bikes. You're doing probably custom-made bikes, but what's the
Absolutely.
soul of the ICNU bikes?
Yeah, so absolutely, it's custom geometry, custom specifications, because it's a handmade product. So it makes no sense to have really stock, because anyways, bikes frames are going to be made one by one. My philosophy is, well, I'm doing, as I was saying, I do two types of frames. One is 90% titanium with just one tube in carbon fiber, and the other one is about 40% titanium and 60% carbon fiber. The philosophy behind is I do mostly gravel, road and gravel, but mostly gravel. Of course, everybody likes lightweight, but I don't think this thing needs to be taken to the extreme. I prefer much more reliability, durability, safety. So even if the frames are really fairly light, I mean, the titanium frame is lighter than 80% of titanium frames on the market. But I'm not really focusing on lightweight. I'm more focusing on safety, durability, also because there's a lot of talking about sustainability, being eco-friendly. What does that mean? Actually, for me, that means that a product will last. So
100%.
so that's the most sustainable thing, something that you don't throw away because it breaks after 3-4 years. So that's my take on performance bike, because these are performance bicycles for sure. They are high-end bicycles, but there's no high-end bicycle that can be not durable, in my opinion.
I'm absolutely with you because actually I have not been doing it for a couple of seasons now, but usually I was actually used to make a little mini series at the end of the season of the BroomWagon called Sustainable Conversation. And this was all the time my main topic. I mean, I think that actually can be triggered a bit, talking about frames and bicycles and maybe also components. I talked with Chris King, for example, just to give you an example. And there it's probably easier to think, especially in a manufacturing way, to create products that last. Of course, the most difficult conversation in this kind of thing is about gears, clothing and stuff, because there are people, they just want to have low price, something like pret-a-porter kind of clothing. But that's exactly the thing. I believe that actually, and you're absolutely on point on that, we are really share the same vision. The best way to create sustainability is produce less. How do you produce and then leave less stuff in the fields? So in the landfills. So how would you do it? Creating things that people are excited to ride, in this case, bicycles or wear or whatever, longer in time, and giving the possibility to the people that love these things that they are using to use them for longer. And of course, repairability. That's actually the thing. So I completely... But how do you mix this one? And then I swear we're going to start talking about the topic that we're here sitting for. How do you... I mean, historically and actually physically, carbon is not the most durable thing in the world. Correct me if I'm wrong. What do you think about that?
Correct. So carbon fiber is has a lot of great properties, but it's not the perfect material. The perfect material doesn't exist, of course.
Absolutely.
So that's why also I make two frames, one for those more focusing on metal and the other more focusing on carbon fiber. Carbon fiber is great in terms of lightweight and stiffness,
100%.
but it's not the most durable, or let's say can be damaged more easily. What I do to improve this is, you probably know there are several kinds of carbon fiber. Some are more performing, some are more lightweight, some are more durable as well. So I prefer to use those that have a higher strength rather than a higher stiffness.
Yes.
And I mix those with Kevlar.
Yes. Okay.
So Kevlar has two main properties. One is to be more impact resistant, and the other one is to be more comfortable. So it's absorbing vibration. So that's actually probably my second, let's say, selling point. One is durability. The second one is comfort.
Yes.
None of us is really a professional. None of us really needs the greatest, really, really greatest performance. We want comfort because it's enjoyment. Cycling for, I believe, for 90% of people listening this podcast it's a pleasure.
Yes.
Rather than a way of living, like rather than a profession.
Yes. No, yeah, I know absolutely what you mean. And that's another thing that I would love to put in context. And then again, we're going to talk about something else. Professionals need to have, in my opinion, the stiffest of the bike because they are super powerful. So they are flying on the bike all the time. They are not really sitting on the bike. They are really there, floating. That's one thing. On the other side, they don't stay, as weird as this can sound, they don't stay longer hours on the bike. I mean, for them, something like doing 150 kilometers most of the time is 3 hours. For us, for me, let's say, 150 kilometers, if everything is all right, I stay there 7 hours. And this means actually that's another point of view. And then they actually stay on the bike for that long, anyways, for a long time, and putting all the power, whatever, as a profession for a limited time in their life. Then probably they're going to enjoy cycling like we do. So we actually would love to stay on the bike for longer as possible. So that's why you need something that is comfortable, is pleasurable, and is enjoyable.
Exactly. So it's really different needs. Of course, all the marketing around the cycling focuses a lot on professionals.
Yes.
That's natural. It's okay. But yeah, I always try to invite people to think what they really need from a bike, and making them think, yeah, exactly, they're not professionals, they are life enjoyers.
Yes, absolutely. But then, so after working a lot, you were saying in actually communications advertising, you started your own company. So now you're based in Sardinia. After traveling the world, you started your company now with this new kind of breath of having something like pure crafting dream machines. Let's put it in this, dream bicycles. And you are kind of there established in Sardinia. And then an idea arrived knocking at your door of creating something in Sardinia, something that was not in Sardinia before this idea popped. We're talking about, you tell me, let's go about that.
Yes, it's a big pleasure to talk about Shardana bike venture, which is, we can say the biggest trail experience, bicycle experience in Sardinia, and basically the first one that is really thought to be something that is happening normally all over Europe, all over the world, like a bike packing event for 1-2 weeks, was not really present in Sardinia before. And one day we were 3 friends sitting together, me, Massimo, which is the founder of La Nuragica, which is the biggest event organizer for gravel riding in Sardinia. They do usually custom trips for smaller groups, or they do weekend events. And together also with Sasha from the Gravel Club.
Shout out to the Gravel Club, everybody. Something that actually was born in COVID time.
Yes. Wow. Yeah. So we were sitting all together, the 3 of us in Sardinia, and at a certain point, Sasha said, "Hey guys, I have a great idea. How is it possible that in Sardinia there is nothing like a like a proper cool bike packing event? The land is so perfect to do something like this. It's big, it's wild. You have mountains, you have seaside, you have flatlands, you have everything to create something like this. How is it possible that it's not existing? Let's make it.
Yes.
So, and everybody was like, at the beginning, like, oh yeah, maybe it sounds cool, but how do we do it? And then we started working on that. Like, really, that was a lot of work.
I can imagine.
We started in September last year, 2024, and actually already in October, website to announce the event was online. We started working a lot because, the idea was not really to make a competition. Is not going to make it to be a competition. Is a way to discover a land that not many people know. For us, what was and what is really, really important in creating a bikepacking event is we want people coming to Sardinia to know our traditions, to know our food, to know our people. It's a very specific land. There's so much to discover. There's a lot of archaeology as well. There's so much to know that we really want to combine cycling, which is, let's say, sports activity, with cultural activities. We are talking to a lot of towns in the island that will be partner of the event.
Mm-hmm.
They will be organizing parties, celebration, traditional exhibitions. There's a lot that will tell participants about the land. So it will not be just cycling. It will be like really discovering a culture.
Nice. Let's start from the beginning. Shardana, what does it mean?
Perfect. Shardana is it's a very ancient name, is the name of the ancient warriors that were present in Sardinia already before Christ. Archaeological theories say they were present during ancient Egypt times. So we are talking probably about 1,000 years before Christ.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very ancient civilization. They were the warriors taking care, protecting the island from invaders. And anyways, they were the old inhabitants of Sardinia. So Shardana is this kind of mythological character and people that were the civilization of Sardinia about 3,000 years ago.
Nice. So, and the event itself, tell us more about actually the timing. So when does it start? How long it's going to take? And then we're going to talk also about the concept itself.
Yeah. So starting the 4th of May, so it's just a bit more than a month, or a month basically from now.
Yeah.
A month. Wow, time is so flying so much.
Yeah.
Will last for 2 weeks. So the closing will be the 18th of May, which doesn't mean that you really have to stay on the island for 2 weeks. It's the opening day and the closing day. Then it's up to you. It's up to the participants how long they will want to stay, how fast they will want to ride, etc.
Yeah.
You have the option. People will have the option for 2 tracks.
Yeah.
A longer one and a shorter one. One is 875 kilometers with about 10,000 meters elevation. And the second one is more 1,050 kilometers with about 15,000 elevation.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, a bit less, like 14,000 something elevation.
So it's something like jumping up of 20% in kilometers, but kind of 70% more elevation to do. So basically, you are sending them to the mountains.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time, Massimo and Cristina, which really made the tracks and tracked all the possible ways. Spent a lot of time because we were thinking a lot if we want to make it really, really hard. But then it would have been maybe shorter, but very, very hard in terms of elevation.
Perfect.
So we rather decided, okay, we want to keep it a bit more open to, I don't want to say anybody, but not only to super, super trained people. We want to be inviting people to come our culture and our land to a bigger group of people.
Yeah.
So we decided to make it a little bit longer, but not too hard.
Yes. Okay. It makes sense. So this is in terms of numbers, but then where does it start? When does it finish? And no, that's only the only thing. And then the next question is going to come later. I'm sorry.
So we are starting in Olbia. Olbia is a town, is a small city in the northeast of the island. We chose Olbia because it's probably the easiest city in Sardinia to reach from all over Europe.
Yeah.
Many flights, many ferries go there. So it was kind of logistically the easiest way, the easiest point. And it's going to be also the end point.
Makes sense.
So it's a loop, basically. And the loop goes from northeast, going down to southwest, and then back up to northeast.
Yeah. Perfect. And then what does it touch base then? Where people are going into this amazing journey in the land?
Yeah, so it's a lot of up and down, of course.
Of course.
So several mountains. The beginning is really, it's maybe the hardest.
Yeah.
In terms of, it's going to be a fresh, demanding start.
Yes.
Then it gets a little bit more relaxed. So we will be passing through 22 partner towns. So we made kind of agreements with towns.
Yeah.
We wanted to have their participation, their ideas about how to involve the participants. So there will be 22 partner towns. You can stop there. We will be giving people suggestions about where to sleep, what to eat, where to eat. And even this is something we really like the idea. We are finalizing. There might be the option to even stay for sleeping in people's houses.
Oh, nice.
So not only hotels and bed and breakfast, but really people that want to open their door and just show the way they live.
Yeah.
So private people.
Yeah. Family time. So for people that are riding the bike in a place that they never saw before.
Exactly. And, and staying with normal families, just to see the way they live, what they eat, really, really entering in an intimate relationship with the local people.
Yeah. That's really nice.
So we are working on this. Of course, this is the first event. So it's the first edition of the event. As you can imagine, there are a lot of things to organize.
Yeah.
We had in mind many things. We had to reduce a little bit the things we wanted to offer because, there's a lot of work behind all this. But we are still quite sure people will live a very authentic experience, very local and normal somehow, like extraordinary, but normal in terms of seeing how people live here.
Yeah. Really joining the daily life of people, of the community.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing we're working on with the partner towns is we are trying them to organize some events, like traditional events. In the days people will pass through their town, more or less. Of course, we cannot know when all people will pass through. But there might be traditional celebrations of the town, folkloristic events, where people, again, can see the local tradition, taste the local food, drink the local wine, etc., etc.
Oh, super nice. So, I mean, it's gonna be probably sharp as a question. I don't want to be disrespectful on that, but it's not a race, right? It's just you're there. It's kind of a rally. You start there. You start all together. It's a kind of a must start, an all together start, and people are just going from town to town and decide if they want to camp, if they want to stay in hotels, if they want to stop for food here or not there, is they can really tailor make everything they want and how they want to experience their trip in Sardinia. You give them just a track, best highlights that they can get, but then it's up to them, right?
Exactly like that. So they will get 2 tracks and they will choose which one they want to do, suggestions where they can sleep, and some suggestion about, things to visit, for example.
Yeah.
But then it's totally up to them. We think it's basically a vacation time. It's not something that should be stressful, or people should not be pushed to do something they don't want to do. It's really, really up to them. They decide how to better live the experience.
How fast they want to be, or everything like that.
Exactly. So there is no minimum speed, there is no maximum speed. It's really a cruise through the land in the way they think is the best.
Absolutely. That's super, super nice. And another thing that I wanted to ask you actually on this point is, it's going to be actually, so what highlight do you think, or highlights in this case, do you think that actually people are going to see? So what is going to be the area where they're going to cruise, as you were saying, or what are the highlights and people that will, without spoiling anything, right? But actually people would say, wow, this place can be only be in this experience. You know what I mean?
All right. For sure, I have to say we're very proud of this. Sardinia is one of the best spots in Europe about seaside.
Of course.
So there are for sure some beaches that are going to be mind-blowing. Dunes, like sand dunes, really just before these beautiful beaches. That's, I think, in my opinion, something that people will really, really remember.
Yeah.
But most of cyclists that come to Sardinia, they actually say, I knew Sardinia because the beautiful seaside. I was not expecting to find also these beautiful mountains.
Yes. Okay.
So the mountains that people will get above 1,000 meters. So it's already a nice mountain, and it's absolutely completely wild. If you think that Sardinia is about the size of Belgium, for example, but has only 1.2 million inhabitants.
It's craziness.
It's really an empty land. So people will face landscapes that could have been exactly the same 3,000 years ago.
Yes.
So it's an extremely wild land. And that's, in my opinion, what is not so common anymore in Europe, because Europe is very dense.
Yes.
About population. But Sardinia stayed really, really empty, wild, untouched in many cases. And yeah, in my opinion, I think when the participants will find themselves really in the middle of nothing, in the middle of the mountains, and not seeing any sign of civilizations for 20 kilometers.
Wow.
That's really special.
Absolutely. That's for sure 100% highlight. But talking about actually the surfaces and the road, so mostly it's going to be gravel riding, right?
Yeah. It's about, we didn't want to make 100% gravel because it would have been too hard. And we also think sometimes people need some kind of rest on the asphalt. So it's about 70% gravel and 30% asphalt.
Yeah.
Gravel will be from a very light gravel to a almost rocky surface.
Okay.
There will be 2-3 spots where we believe 90% of people will get off the bike and push the bike. But also that we wanted to have those spots. They are short tracks, maybe 200 meters, to have some challenge.
Yes, and also to experience, because at the end of the day, correct me if I'm wrong there. I mean, I'm not an expert for sure. But actually, because most of these roads that people are taking were actually the roads, kind of the donkey roads. So the roads that were used for farming or all, I mean, for the animals, human and animals. So they were not meant to be ridden on the bike or, God forbid, to be drove in a car. It's just roads for people to with their animals to walk, right?
Correct. Yes. So especially in the middle of the mountains, especially in the ending part of the track. So again, going back to Olbia, there people will really find will cross fields that are just meant to be for agriculture. There is no space for cars, no space for even tractors. Don't get there so easily.
Yeah.
So it's really tiny paths, which are, in my opinion, the ideal landscape, the ideal surface for gravel and mountain bike. We don't want to say this is only a gravel event.
Yeah.
It's open to any kind of bike, including electric bikes.
That's nice to say. Good. Okay.
Yeah, we're not absolutely closing to e-bikes. There's no reason to do that in our opinion. But yeah, people will find themselves in such a intimate landscapes that will, in our opinion, will really feel like they are discovering something.
It's going to be a unique experience. That's for sure.
We hope so, yes.
That's super nice. That's super nice. No, yeah, that's really, I mean, really, really interesting. But then actually the suggestion, so as I can see from the map, basically people are going to start, as you were saying, the start is going to be, they're going to stretch their legs, let's say at the start. Then it's going to actually follow the west coast of Sardinia, and then going basically the south, and then the inland, the way back to Olbia is going to be inland, right? How is the distribution of these 22 partner towns that you found? So basically, they're going to be equally distributed in all the track, or there's going to be stretches where people are going to find nothing for 100 kilometers or stuff like this?
They're not actually evenly distributed. We try to find towns where hypothetically people need more support. So in the flat, easier stretches, there are less towns. In the more demanding stretches, in the high mountains, in the most difficult parts, there are more towns, because we consider these towns to be really a little home for the participants, where they can feel safe, they can find help if they need help, they can find a place to sleep, of course. So we try to make the faster tracks with the less towns, and the slower, more difficult parts of the track with more towns.
Yeah. We have been talking for all this time on the perspective of helping the riders, so the visitors. How was on the other side? Because this is actually a pitch to the riders, right? Come over, you're going to find these towns and everything like that. But I think that actually on the other side, you approached also this one that you are referring to them as a partner towns, right? How did you approach them? And what, excuse actually this kind of definition that I'm going to give, but how this is going to help or support, and how did you choose the town to support or to be partner of the event?
This is a great question. Well, first of all, I have to say that was not my job.
Okay, of course. I mean, Lanuragica was doing it, right?
That was Massimo and Cristina, which are the other friends from Sardinia. They really did a crazy, fantastic job in connecting with these towns, talking to them, explaining the idea, the project. And for many of them, they are maybe a town of 1,000 people. They're really tiny, and they never experience foreign people coming to the island, because there's not a big reason for tourists to go to these towns. And they were excited of the chance to have we are right now we are like 70% of participants are not Italian.
Nice.
So they will have a big amount of people, foreign people, entering a tiny town that has never seen so many foreigners in their existence. So for them was like a chance. It's a chance to show their little town, traditional architecture, local traditions to someone that otherwise would never enter this town. So it's not only a possible way to bring customers for bed and breakfasts or customers for restaurants. It's also a chance to show these people, the participants of the event, what they have, what they do, who they are.
Yes.
So they were absolutely excited about the possibility.
That's super nice. No, yeah, because I mean that's another thing that we need to consider, right? Sardinia has not been developed so much yet as a cycling destination.
Okay.
Maybe for sure all this kind of seaside, good weather, beaches kind of tourism is already there, right? The shores are full and everything in summer or around that. So maybe some areas are really well developed on that, but nobody thinks about, okay, I'm going there with a bike. And bicycle tourists is a different animal because of course they need some services, but they are actually a bit rougher in terms of actually they can adapt to anything and they want to go and visit exactly what you were saying. The places that are a bit more remote, villages that are smaller and everything like that. So this is in my opinion, the real and revolutionary development that area could have. Also because it's more sustainable. You're not bringing there flights, full planes, aircrafts of people that are going to invade everything. It's going to be small amount of people, still big for small towns, but people that want to listen and explore and do experience what these people can give them and not only consume and leave.
Exactly. No, that's why we are really inviting people to not to rush. We hope people will stay more than one night in some towns. We really hope someone will stop in a town and say, I was planning to leave tomorrow morning, but I want to stay one more night because it's so nice here. It's so relaxed. It's so comfortable and familiar somehow. Like it's so welcoming. So we hope people will get surprised in how much they want to keep living and experiencing the land.
Absolutely. Getting back to the organizational point of view. Now, take yourself and Cristina and Massimo, and in this case also Sasha, at the time of the event. So now you are in the 4th of May and everything starts. How the organization is going to be distributed? You're going to be for sure everybody at the start, try to support the riders, something like registrations or whatever bureaucracy you have to do. But then are you going to also move around or you're going to have photographers? How is it going to work?
Important to say, actually, yes. The event starts the 4th of May, but the 3rd of May, so the day before, apart doing the usual registrations, there's a party.
Nice. So the party before.
There's the party before, because of course we know when everybody's starting, but we don't know when people will be arriving. So we said we want to do the initial party.
Yeah.
So we have a nice dedicated area. It's kind of a park, which will be just for us.
Yes.
So we will have music, we will have drinks, food, entertainment. There is something. Now, I will not say this. There is something that is going to be really, really fun.
Okay.
That has a bicycle during the party.
Nice.
Everybody will have a bicycle.
Okay.
So there will be a party for 2 reasons. First of all, you have to register, you have to take your numbers, etc. But then we thought we want to make this a social event. We want people, all the participants, to know each other before leaving the event, before starting for the ride. Because we really want people to make friends.
Yes.
So making a party before the start was the perfect situation for all the participants to know each other, tell each other why they are there,
Yeah.
and have fun. And then the morning after, leave together
Yeah.
for the ride. So that's really something we'd like to focus. And also because we will have a raffle.
Yes.
So we have prepared some presents. We have some sponsors. Like every event has some technical sponsors in the bicycle industry. We have the same. So what we asked these sponsors was not like, don't give us money. Give us your products.
Yes.
We want to give presents to the participants, because all these presents will make their experience to be even better. And so all the presents will be connected to the experience, to the cycling.
Nice.
And I think, yeah, okay, I give you news. This is absolutely...
Give me the news. That's why we are here. I want to have exclusivity.
So the very first prize of the raffle will be one of my frames.
Really? That's so
yes.
nice. Super nice.
So it's something I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I don't know any bicycle event that is giving a bicycle frame for the value of over 5,000 euros.
Yeah.
As a prize.
Yeah. It's in the raffle.
It's going to be a raffle.
Exactly.
Yes. There will be a lucky guy or a lucky girl getting one of my frames.
That's super nice. I mean, yeah, now I can completely understand actually how is the feeling and actually the vibes that people are gonna have. You start with a party, can only be a party with big prizes, basically. And then with friendship, that probably is the biggest prize of them all, not to be cheesy. And then actually the real journey starts, right?
Exactly. So the 4th of May morning, 9 o'clock, we all start together. Photographers and video makers are going to be there. So it's for us, but it's also for the participants.
Yes.
Everybody will receive at the end of the event a folder with all the photos we have made. So they can find themselves there. They can find themselves in some landscapes. So it's not always easy to take selfies.
No, of course.
So it's nice if somebody's taking pictures for you and videos as well. So photographer and video maker will be following the group, leaving Olbia.
Yes.
And for the starting kilometers. And then they will find photographer and video maker along the track.
Yes.
We don't know exactly when and where, but we will be placing photographer and video maker along the track because we want to really catch the true experience, the true feeling of the event. So yeah, maybe popping out from a bush,
of course,
somewhere in some town and taking pictures of the riders.
Nice. But then there's going to be something like, how would you call them, support cars and everything, and there's going to be a tracker or not?
No, this is important to say. It's an unsupported event.
Okay.
So people must be independent.
Okay.
We will have emergency phone number.
Yes.
So of course we are not leaving people to themselves in case of a problem.
That's for sure.
So there will be emergency numbers, emergency services. There will be a bicycle mechanic track, like a van.
The BroomWagon.
Exactly. There will be a van available in case of possible problems. Of course, something along 1,000 kilometers can happen.
Yeah.
So there will be a van ready to help riders in case they need.
Yeah. Okay, that's perfect. And then everything will end. You said the 18th. The 18th of May, and then there's going to be actually somebody at the finish line welcoming the rivals, the drivers. Yeah.
Absolutely. So in the same spot where we make the party, there will be the arriving spot where we are along the track. We are also preparing stamps.
Okay.
So people can stamp their road book, because it's not a competition, as we said, but we think it's a nice memory.
Yeah.
To prove also to yourselves that you really stopped in that town, you got a stamp, and you have a proof of your participation.
Nice.
So when you will arrive to Olbia again, if you have stamped all the places where there was a checkpoint, you get a certification.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It's something like the Camino de Santiago.
Yes.
Famous hiking track. So you get an award or a reward. There is also proving to yourself that you made it.
Yes, absolutely. That's so nice. And there's not going to be a finishers party then?
Sorry?
No finishers party.
No finishers party, because we don't know when people will actually come.
Makes sense.
Our impression right now is that about 50% they are planning 1 week.
Yeah.
And 50% they are planning about the full 2 weeks.
Okay.
Not everybody, has 2 weeks of vacation.
Of course. In May.
In May, yeah. So many people were asking if they could make it in 1 week or 8-9 days. And yes, of course, the answer is totally yes. But we don't know when people will arrive. So we couldn't really plan a final party.
Okay, a finishers party, yes. You were talking, just to talk 1 second about numbers without making the numbers. You said that actually 70% of the people are foreigners, so they are not Italians.
Yeah.
I have 2 questions on that. What are the countries that are represented there? And on the other side, are there people from Sardinia coming and joining?
Yeah, there are people from Sardinia. I think there are not so many, maybe 5-6 people still right now. Few people really. Yeah. That's, I don't know why. Maybe because it's home for them,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I think I see it as a positive thing, because at the end of the day, it's discovering the territory where you belong. So it's good that people want to join. It seems like not everybody is really knows everything, and 5 is a super good number. I would say it's not easy. I've been in Kyrgyzstan for the Silk Road Monte Race in 2019 with the podcast, not on the bike, but I don't remember there being 5. And that time we were 160, I think. I don't remember there being 5 persons from Kyrgyzstan being there. So that's why I was saying I think that actually 5 is a good number.
Yeah, and anyways, so I think more or less, 40%, so the biggest, let's say 35% are Italian and 35% are German.
Of course, because of the gravel club, of course.
Yeah. Of course, he brought a lot of people in because he has a big community, so there was a lot of visibility for the event in the German, or let's say German-speaking countries. And then I would say Netherlands, Belgium, Spain. Also, Spain is quite a lot of people, because it's easy from Spain to reach Sardinia.
You can go with a ferry. So you go to Barcelona, you can take the ferry. Yeah.
I would say, and then actually some people from Canada.
Oh.
Yeah. That was amazing. I loved these people asking questions and finally confirming they were coming.
Nice.
So Canada, USA, Turkey.
Even nicer.
So mostly Europe, because it's natural, but not only Europe.
That's so nice. That's absolutely nice. Last thing that I wanted to ask you, and then anyways, I'm going to ask you for adding anything that you want there. Sardinia itself. Let's get back to the big topic. Is there a reason why Sardinia hasn't become yet a cycling destination? We have Mallorca. They have the infrastructure and everything. Everybody, German people, English people, when they think about let's go with the bike in wintertime, Mallorca. Now also Gran Canaria is there. Of course, Spain, Calpe, Girona, whatever is there. And there's going to be a lot of effort, I believe. Some effort, especially for the big kind of kind of institutions and stuff. For example, UCI planned to bring a cyclocross World Cup event in Cabras. We all know that it was a super unfortunate this year, but they wanted to bring there. It was a big event. UCI talked a lot about that, inviting people, sponsors to come over. But the question is, first of all, as I was asking, why it hasn't become yet cycling destination. I remember actually a couple of years ago, 5 years ago, Daniel Oss was making this amazing video of him training in Sardinia and showing actually also road is good in Sardinia in December to come and ride. This is the first question. And the second one is this way, bringing pro to Sardinia, is this something that is gonna really develop Sardinia as a cycling destination? Or, as I can see, you have different ideas in mind?
Well, if you ask me why it's not popular, I don't have an answer.
Okay.
To be honest with you, because everything is there to be popular. So in my opinion, or maybe it's my hope, is only because nobody before tried to make it a cycling destination.
Yes.
And that's why we are trying.
Yeah.
We want to put in people's mind all over Europe and all over beyond Europe that it's an amazing place for cycling. It's just that people, nobody told the cycling community that it is. So that's what we want to do. We want to really push in people's mind, hey, guys, it's a great land. Come to discover it. You will be surprised. And when you are talking about the cyclocross championship, that was definitely unfortunate.
Of course.
But there's more and more people discovering it's a good land also for competitions.
Okay, I know what you mean. Okay.
So it was never considered because in Italy, the most typical cycling destinations is the north, Tuscany, Lombardy.
Dolomites.
That's the typical traditional destination for cycling in Italy. But there's more and more people looking for something new.
Yeah.
Something that they don't know. And so there is where we want to be, giving people the chance to discover this land and really making it a cycling destination.
Yeah, breaking the tradition. I know absolutely what you mean. I mean, now that you're saying that, yes, the classic Italian destinations, even I talk here with people in Switzerland and they say, yeah, I'm going to Italy to ride. Okay, where are you going? Yeah, I'm going to Tuscany when the weather is better or where actually the mountains can be discovered. I'm going to the Dolomites. I'm going to Stelvio. It's also closer. But even just if you think, all the mountain passes from foreigners, but also for Italian people, all the mountain passes that are, for example, in the extreme east of Italy, Slovenia, crossing Slovenia and stuff, or on the other side, on the west side, the passes that are in Piedmont or whatever, that are super beautiful, they are not so tracked. Can you imagine then places like Sardinia that were never in the radar of cycling tourists, and anyway, cyclists in general, because there are a bunch of people that they don't want to bike pack. They just want to bring their bike and have some loops in a specific area. So yeah, unlocking this tradition, kind of disrupting this tradition, it's something that probably can be discovered a bit more.
Yeah, exactly. And also what is key, I believe, is giving them services.
Oh yeah.
So it's not only inviting them to come, but also making their life easy when they come. So giving them tracks, giving them information about where to sleep, where to eat, giving them, this is something we have been trying to do with the ferry company, for example.
Oh, yeah.
Every participant will have 25% discount on the ferry to come to Sardinia. So we need to facilitate cyclists that want to come to Sardinia as a cycling destination. So there is a lot. It's not only inviting them and telling them what they will find here, is also, once they are here, giving them everything they need to enjoy their time here. Absolutely. Which is information and services.
Yeah. Did you get any... sorry.
No, please, please.
Did you get any support from the regional government or whatever, the politics and tourism, tourist offices?
Both from Sardinia region and the Sardinia Tourist Office.
Nice.
So they are official partners of the event, yes. So Sardinia is trying, again, to open to slow tourism, more sustainable tourism. We know, we are sure it's an option for us because we had too much cheap tourism in the past connected to the seaside. We want higher quality, better quality, more educated tourists to come here to discover and respect also the land in a different way. And we want them to come the whole year, not just for summer.
Absolutely. I don't know. I'm going to mention that probably if I'm going too far, people just give me a shout. The thing that I hate, I'm putting it in a strong way, but that's what it is actually. It's my personal opinion, is all the cruises tourism that you saw there, and we can see it talking about Italy or wherever in the world, Barcelona or whatever. It's so, how would you say that? It's so strong and actually resource consuming for the land where they arrive. They arrive there with a big, how would you call it? Big boat? It's not a boat. It's a big village on a boat. They arrive there. They just waste completely all the environment around them. They consume on the boat. They don't visit the land. They know nothing about culture. And that's not what the tourism really is in the need at the moment. It's a cultural thing. It's also a physical thing. It's a sustainability thing. And I don't want to say, okay, this is better than that. But for sure, thinking about this there are alternatives. Let's show people alternative, that there are different way of traveling, that only jumping on a cruise and go and have a swim in whatever seaside, because there's different things to do.
Yeah, and also, we are lucky enough to have great weather. I would say 11.5 months a year.
Great. Yeah.
So why not coming here in March, in November? It's really a land that allows people to be welcome and to be comfortable the whole year, especially for people coming from Northern Europe, for example. And I mean, if we use, let me use this word, if we use Europe in this way, that has a climate that is changing for sure. August here is getting extremely hot, but which means that November is amazing. February is amazing. Why not using these months the whole year to enjoy the land, to discover culture, to have a vacation? I mean, we as a Sardinian people, we should really facilitate people to come here the whole year, and explaining them it's really a chance to break from winter in Northern Europe, and enjoying good weather, good food, welcoming people. Really 11.5 months a year.
That's super nice. That's super nice. I mean, you are doing a great step in this direction. So from my side, it's just the full respect and appreciation the project that you're keeping.
Hey, because next year you come, eh?
This year?
No, next year.
Next year I can do it, probably. Yes, why not? I'm going to bring at least one of my kids so I can actually ride bikes with them. I think it's good.
That's good.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I really appreciate and respect the project. Could have been, I mean, we were talking about actually a lot of German cyclists that are coming.
Yep.
Again, everybody in Germany knows that they can go to Mallorca, they can go to Gran Canaria. Bringing people to think in a different direction and actually bringing them into Sardinia instead of sending them to the easy solution, that's already a great move. So I believe that actually you're doing an amazing job, and I think that actually it's super fascinating to listen about that and about this story.
Yeah. Well, that's what's our intention, to give people an alternative that they didn't know, and make them, hey, never heard about this, might be interesting.
Absolutely.
So, Yeah, it is a challenge. As you can imagine, especially the first edition, there are so many question marks. There are so many things we cannot forecast 100% about how many people will come, who will come, what they are expecting from us. And despite the fact that we really want them to enjoy everything, it's going to be a lot of learning. So for us, this year will be good. Next year will be great because we will have all the learning from this year in terms of how to improve the event and how to make this even more pleasant. And what we hope, of course, is that everybody that this year will come will tell all their friends it was amazing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Where can we find you? Where can we find you?
In terms of the event, you mean?
In terms of, this was actually a tricky question. Where can we find you online? All the information, how to join you, the photos that you're going to produce, and the photos that are already produced by actually my friend Dan Zobek.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan.
Absolutely, shout out to this amazing photographer and videographer. But where can you be found in a kind of, how would you say, telematic way, kind of informatic way.
Online presence.
Online presence. Online is the right word.
For sure, our website, Shardana dash bikeventure.com.
Description below.
Yes.
It's going to be in the description below.
And then, of course, social media, both Instagram and Facebook. So Instagram is a bit more active.
Nobody uses Facebook anymore. Come on, Fabio.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's something that I'm selling every time that I'm working with people that want me to do it.
My friend that is taking care of the social media, he said, you must have also Facebook.
Everybody says that.
Okay, you are the boss.
Yeah.
You decide.
Yeah.
So, of course, website, social media. And we will have, after the event is finished, we will have also YouTube.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because we will have some people coming and they will be making kind of documentaries about the event.
That's something
so
nice.
We will have content, also more video content on YouTube. But yeah, I believe if you also type Shardana Bike Venture on Google, you will find it for sure.
Absolutely. It's the easiest.
And for the people listening, just write to us, to me. Usually I reply Italian and English, and Sasha will reply German.
Yes.
But write to us for any question, any doubt, any suggestion. We're quite fast to reply.
That's good. That's good. Fabio, have we missed something? Is there something that you want to say and I didn't ask you?
Good question. Difficult question. No, I think we really spoke about a lot of things, and it was really comprehensive scenario of the event, I hope. We can just say spots for booking your event are still open. They will be open till 25th of April, maybe. So you still have like 20 days for book your ticket. Remember, you have discounts for the ferry to come to Sardinia, apart, of course, having many flights. And if you come by flight, we have a nice, at the headquarters, we have nice storage if you have a big box to bring your bike. So we can store boxes, we can store suitcases, we can store bags. So we are trying as much as possible. We know we are an island. It's not always easy to get here. We are trying our best to facilitate coming here in the most comfortable way.
That's super awesome. Fabio, thanks a lot for this awesome conversation.
Thanks to you.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see more about everything. And maybe that's something that I can actually mention quickly. If anybody has questions, you can actually send them directly, to Shardana Bike Adventure, or otherwise write to me. I'm going to actually redirect to Fabio and to the team with no problems. And I'm really super excited to see everything that is coming out of it. And probably we can also have another talk anytime soon maybe after the event. You need to rest a bit, but after that probably we can have another talk and actually see what's the learnings, what's the excitement, what's the highlights of it.
Absolutely. I would love to do that.
Absolutely. Good. Ciao, Fabio. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Ciao, Stefano.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Wow. Yes, I think I promised that already. I'm gonna be there next week. Here. That's what actually also Fabio recommended me to do. So people, keep your eyes open and check on Shardana Bike Adventure everywhere in the internet. Whatever is going to develop with that, and I believe that actually it's going to be just incredible. Knowing that there are people that are trying to make the cycling world, the bikepacking world a bit more accessible and also more inclusive by talking with locals in amazing parts of the world is just an open-eye. Or is it the other way around? Eye-opener. Yes, it's the other way around. An eye-opener. And I'm so happy that I can talk with these incredible visionary, progressive people that are thinking about doing something like that. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, if you have any feedback, go directly on Spotify. I think that now you can put comments, so you can do it directly there. And or on the other side, just remember that you can write me CalamarosCC or BroomWagon Podcast on Instagram. And if you like the episode, share it with all your friends wherever you want, however you want. I give you a huge hug, and I will talk to you soon with some more adventure. Bye!